Hey everyone, we want to thank you and welcome you back to the Five Star Property Management channel. Today we have Michael from Astute Home Advisors, and so I know that I myself, from the development side, we're eager to hear kind of what's going on from Michael and his side out on the front lines. And so, Michael, introduce yourself, introduce Astute Home Advisors, just kind of let us know what you're seeing out there in these times.
Everybody's Michael Chapman. Hey, it's Michael Chapman with the Astute Home Advisors. I work with a residential real estate company where we mostly help buyers, renters, and sellers in the market to acquire and sell property. Um, I appreciate you guys for having me on today.
Yeah, not a problem. I know that we've been chatting back and forth throughout the couple of weeks since, COVID-19 has been coming on. And I know that you're on the front line seeing some things. And so I know that you were talking about some rates and how that's been affecting you. And so why don't you let us know how that's affecting the front lines?
Yeah, so just last week, the rates kind of shifted on us and things kind of flipped itself on its head regarding the mortgage side of my business, where we have buyers that typically can get into a home for 580, 620, where those things are kind of tightened up, and where the lenders and the investors don't want to lend out money to those people because of the pandemic and what's going on. So right now you're looking at buyers having to be around 640 and mostly 680 to get the par rate and come in with less of a point system. And the point system is like 1%, or point is a percent of the loan. And you don't want to have to pay that typically if you're buying a property, because that can mess up your interest rate or your money coming into the table. So what I've seen here lately is we're being more strategic on how we approach this thing regarding putting our buyers in the market. So if some buyers don't have to buy right now, if you're still in a lease or something of that sort, and you have until the end of the summer, I would just say, hey, table it, because if your lease is up in July, this thing may blow over here in June or July, and those rates may kind of loosen up again. They may loosen up their belt buckle, to say less, and start lending at 620 and 580 again.
Yeah, and so these are the people that you're talking about tabling are for people with on the lower end of the credit score. If people are on the higher end, is now what you've been seeing a good time, or is now still a similar time?
No, so it's a really good time. Market-wise, it's still a great time to go out and buy property. And if you have 680 and above credit score, I would say it's no better time than now, because we're stuck in the house, right? People are stuck in the house, and most people are not out looking at property as they would be on the regular, everyday basis. So the opportunity for you to get in before someone else, or see a property that another buyer may want to see, but or is reluctant to get out, gives you an opportunity or a leg up
Yeah.
to secure the property.
And so speaking about going out and seeing properties, I know many people are fearful right now. Is there anything particular that you guys, Michael, yourself or Astute Home Advisors doing, to be empathetic in this environment, maybe doing virtuals, or, what precautions are you taking?
So we have converted fully over to virtual, and we are doing case by case with going out with clients, right? So we can prepare our clients with all the information virtually, with tours, addendums, photos, videos, and actually maybe even going out and walking through the property and taking the information ourselves and getting it back to them. We'll do it. And then in certain cases where people have to come in that are relocating, because people are still relocating to Dallas every day, they have to actually go in and touch their house, because nobody wants to move from Detroit, like the family I have coming in next week. They don't want to come in and buy a house that they just seen on the internet. They want to
Yeah.
touch it and get a feel for the community and the neighborhood. So we're making those exceptions as well. We're just being extra cautious when we do it.
And what type of precautions are you doing? Are you guys coming through, if you are able to go through and just opening the entire house and ensuring families aren't home if the home is still livable? What are you guys doing to try to think ahead in this environment?
So mostly we like showing new construction, of course, because no one lives there.
Yeah.
Vacant properties, and then if the families do live there, if they allow us to come in during this time, we glove up, Lysol. I
Yeah.
go in, open the door, and I kind of let them go in before me so they can take it in, and then I'll kind of step back and follow as they kind of go through the house and envision themselves in it. And if they have questions, of course, answer them. But typically, a person knows within the first 15 seconds when they walk in the house if they want it or not.
Yeah. And you had spoken a little bit about investors, and so what are you seeing from that perspective? Not necessarily again a projection on anything, but what are you seeing, in terms of, you know, what you can provide right now? Because everybody's looking for a little bit of peace and a little bit of surety in this uncertain time. So what are you able to provide in that sector?
I think it's a good time for investors right now, honestly, because um, properties are still available. Sellers still have to sell. Jobs are being lost, so some people are not going to be able to pay those bills. So, and some people have homes that's on market now that hasn't sold. And me personally, when I help my investors, we go after those properties and we secure them pretty easily. So I think it's a good time for investors to jump into the market or stay aggressive with acquiring property because there's tons of people still coming to Dallas, still looking for a place to live. That has to move. Like if people have to move, they have to have a viable resource to move to, and that's where investors play a major role in our market.
What are you seeing right now on the volume of properties? Are more properties coming on, or are properties just kind of staying still in the total numbers?
Well, I'll say it has been a little drop back on properties coming on, but
Yeah.
properties going under contract has not stopped. Like,
Okay.
yeah, people are putting properties under contract every day in the
Yeah.
hundred. So I can say this: maybe some people are reluctant to put the property on market, but people who have to move are pulling the trigger and making decisions on properties that they want.
And so while we may hear some things on the news that are more fear-based, shying us away from things, what you're seeing on the front lines is that everything seems to be almost as close to business as normal in the middle of a pandemic as can be possible.
Absolutely for us because our business is flexible.
Yeah.
So we're in the people business, but we don't have to, with the way that this real estate business is structured, be together all the time to do transactions.
Yeah.
So so I think it's business as usual because it's a phone conversation, a Zoom video like this where we can get information displayed across between us and make healthy and pretty reasonable decisions.
Yeah, and so what's the best way? Because you're based here in DFW. Does Astute cover all of DFW?
Yeah, so we cover all counties: Dallas, Tarrant, Collin, Denton, Ellis, Rockwall. We cover all counties here in Dallas. So you can just hit us online, astutehomeadvisor.com, or give me a shout.
Okay, and can they follow you on social media?
Absolutely. Follow me on Facebook is where I'm most popular because I'm an old school guy. So it's Michael D. Chapman, Astute Home Advisor on Facebook.
Uh, All right, Michael. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you for jumping on uh, our property management channel today. We look forward to speaking with you soon.
Cool. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thank